Moved by Councilor Arola, seconded by Councilor Hudson. Resolved that the regular meeting commence at the hour of 7 p.m. And be it further resolved that Council acknowledges that we're meeting in the Robinson Superior Treaty area on lands that have been traditionally used by several Indigenous nations. But we'd like to pay special recognition to our closest Indigenous neighbors, the communities of Bitigan, Shinabik, and Pic-Mobert First Nations. We wish to recognize the long history of the First Nations and Métis people in our region specifically and show respect to them today. All in favor? Okay. I'll call the meeting to order.
There is one addition to the agenda addition to agenda item number 1210, Administration Report ADM 2022-05 submitted by Florence Mclean, CAO, regarding procurement of rapid antigen test kits.
Moved by Councilor Hudson, seconded by Councilor Campanella. Resolved that the agenda be approved as amended.
Councilor Arola?
Yes.
Councilor Hudson?
Yes.
Councilor Moffat?
Yes.
Councilor Scapinello?
Yes.
Mayor McEachern?
Yes. Any disclosure of pecuniary interest and general nature thereof. There are no delegations or presentations, therefore we'll go to adoption of minutes. Moved by Councilor Hudson, seconded by Councilor Arola. Resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting held on December 8, 2021 are adopted as circulated.
Councilor Arola?
Yes.
Councilor Hudson?
Yes.
Councilor Moffat?
Yes.
Councilor Scapinello?
Yes.
Mayor McEachern?
Yes. There are no petitions. There are two items of correspondence. Do either of them have to be brought down?
Yes, can you bring down 0801, please?
0801.
Did you want to?
Sure.
Moved by Councilor Arola, seconded by Councilor Hudson. Resolved that correspondence items 0801 and 0802 be received, and be it further resolved that agenda item 0801 be returned to Council under business for the meeting of January the 12th, 2022.
Councilor Arola?
Yes.
Councilor Hudson?
Yes.
Councilor Moffat?
Yes.
Councilor Scapinello?
Yes.
Mayor McEachern?
Yes. Moved by Councilor Scampanella, seconded by Councilor Hudson. Resolved that the minutes of the meeting of the Thunder Bay District Social Service Administration Board held on October 21st, 2021, November 17th, 2021, and November 18th, 2021, regular and closed, be accepted as received.
Councilor Arola?
Yes.
Councilor Hudson?
Yes.
Councilor Moffat?
Yes.
Councilor Scapinello?
Yes.
Mayor McEachern?
Yes. My only update for today is I'd like to congratulate Mike and Katie on the arrival of their new son, and hope you have a really good time with this young fellow.
Thank you.
My turn. Through you, Mr. Mayor, a number of updates, many updates regarding the current COVID pandemic. As you're seeing in the media, there's a number of increased cases within Manitowoc. The residents are encouraged to report to the hospital if they're using a home rapid antigen test kit, whether they're testing positive. That can be done anonymously. Additionally, residents are encouraged to stay home if they're feeling unwell and to reduce the spread of the virus within the community. We are seeing a number of businesses impacted because of COVID, whether they're temporarily closed or deciding to permanently close until the end of this current restriction on that the province has put in place until January 26. It's impacted a number of municipal facilities, including the recreation center, so we can't have any indoor recreation sports. Fortunately, the library is able to operate at 50% capacity. We do anticipate that the ski hill will be able to open, and we anticipate that it will be not this weekend but next weekend after we receive our inspection and approval from TSSA. So residents can check out the Community Services Facebook page for more information on that. We are looking to continue to do our winter Frosty Days, thank you. Winter festivities. But in, of course, COVID-friendly and outdoor events. So we're encouraging the public to be creative and come up with ideas on how we can do that. The vaccine clinics are weekly now. The Thunder Bay District Health Unit is actually running them, so they come up here every Thursday. And the clinics are held in the afternoon from 12 until 5. So we encourage residents, if they don't already have their vaccine, to register to have that done. You may have noticed that this council meeting, we've done a soft launch with a software program called iCompass, and I don't know if you had a chance to check it out. It is on the main page of the municipal website, but it is very easy to navigate. Kathy may have a differing opinion on that.
I'd say nothing.
But all the information is there, and we will do a much larger launch when all the staff have been trained, as well as council.
Well, I did go to it, and what I was just trying to do was put it into my Notability so I could have it on, and I just had a bit of an issue doing that. So I just opened it through the other link that was sent to us, and I had no issue doing it that way.
Okay.
So when I come in and sit down and get some help, I will probably be fine.
Okay. Councilor Rolla?
No comment.
Okay, well, it's a work in progress. And the last item is just a reminder that Don Kruger starts his position as fire chief on Monday, January 17th. And the town of Marathon has agreed to have Earl Grigg stay on until the end of January to allow for a 2-week transition with Don. So we're really appreciative of that. So if you're in the office next week, feel free to stop in and see him. That's it.
Thank you. Moved by Councilor Hudson, seconded by Councilor Roll. Resolved that the 2022 Association of Municipalities of Ontario, AMO, annual general meeting and conference is scheduled to be held on August 14th to August 17th, 2022 in Ottawa, Ontario. And be it further resolved that the following councils and staff will attend. So, I will attend for sure.
I would like to be able to attend.
Anybody else?
I would have to get back to you.
Sorry, I didn't hear, where will it be held?
It will be held in Ottawa on August 14th to the 17th, and it'll be in person, as far as we know so far.
Okay, I'll have to check. I can't commit to that right now.
Okay. Florence, I presume you're going to...
Yes.
Okay. So, should we put the two names of Councillor Moffat and Councillor Campanello on just in case, and then we can take them off later?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
And Councillor Arola, you're not going to be gone? Okay.
Through the chair, I'll get back to you as soon as I can and let you know.
Okay. All right, and be it further resolved that the following council and or staff members will attend. Mayor McEachran, Councillor Hudson, Councillor Moffat, Councillor Campanello, and CAO Florence Mclean.
Councilor Arola?
Yes.
Councilor Hudson?
Yes.
Councilor Moffat?
Yes.
Councilor Scapanello?
Yes.
Mayor McEachern?
Yes. Moved by Councilor Hudson, seconded by Councilor Roll. Resolved that council is in receipt of correspondence from the Office of the Fire Marshal regarding notification of the OFM review of fire protection services in the Township of Manitowoc.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. I wanted to provide you with the letter from the Office of the Fire Marshal notifying the Township that there will be a review of the fire department. You can see in the letter the areas that they will be reviewing, and they have provided additional correspondence to the Township with their requests for information. I'd like to thank staff for working on some of these requests. They've been quite lofty, and certainly a lot of information is being shared. And I also want to advise that they have asked for office space for 7 staff to attend to conduct the review, as well as an office to do one-on-one interviews. So we have given them use of council chambers and as the office space for the 7 individuals, and we will make an office available for the one-on-one interviews. But they wanted to be on site and close to where the records are kept. So we don't have a date yet, but they did indicate that they would give Don a few weeks to get his feet wet before they arrive. So we do anticipate it will be sometime in February, and that will be dependent on COVID and their ability to travel as well.
Okay.
So.
Do you have any questions for? Okay. And be it further resolved that upon conclusion of the council's review and consideration, council directs municipal staff and employees to provide full cooperation and assistance to the Office of the Fire Marshal for the review of the protection services in the Township of Manitowoc.
Councilor Arola?
Yes.
Councilor Hudson?
Yes.
Councilor Moffat?
Yes.
Councilor Scapanello?
Yes.
Mayor McEachern?
Yes. Moved by Councilor Hudson, seconded by Councilor Scapanello. Resolved that council is in receipt of administration report TR 2022-01 submitted by Chris Towns, Treasurer, regarding 2021 property tax account write-offs. You're on, sir.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. The next 3 reports I have provided to council is an annual requirement for approval for all write-offs regarding property taxes, utility billing, and accounts receivable. Accounts, if there were any unusual circumstances on any of these, it would have been brought before the council for approval. The first one I'd like to go over with you is the property tax write-offs. There are several reasons for property tax write-offs. One of them is municipal property. We do not pay tax on our own properties or facilities. Vacancy rebates for commercial and industrial properties, which require an application to MPAC, the municipality, and then through MPAC. Council had abolished this policy and will not continue moving forward. The other one is vested property, which we will get into. As you will know, there's a large amount of property tax write-offs for this year, and that was due to a couple of years of large failed tax sales. We've had those conversations in the past. And the other one is Section 319 of the Municipal Act, relief of increases for the purpose of relieving hardship. And for the 2021 year, there were none, as there was a property tax rate decrease. So, does council have any questions on the property tax write-offs?
No.
Okay, seeing none, council approves the 2021 property tax account write-offs as presented.
Councilor Arola?
Yes.
Councilor Hudson?
Yes.
Councilor Moffat?
Yes.
Councilor Scapanello?
Yes.
Mayor McEachern?
Yes. Moved by Councilor Arola, seconded by Councilor Hudson. Resolved that Council is in receipt of Administration Report TR 2022-02 submitted by Chris Counts, Treasurer, regarding 2021 utility account write-offs.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. As for the utility account, which is our water billing write-offs, municipal property gets written off as we do not pay for our own utility services. And any billing errors or any uncollectible accounts, if you actually review our total write-offs, there is about approximately $152.77 that was deemed uncollectible, and the rest of those accounts were actually municipal property write-offs. Does Council have any questions regarding utility property write-offs?
No.
Council approves the 2021 utility account write-offs as presented.
Councilor Arola,
Yes.
Councilor Hudson,
Yes.
Councilor Moffat,
Yes.
Councilor Scapanello,
Yes.
Mayor McEachern.
Yes. Moved by Councilor Scapanello, seconded by Councilor Hudson. Resolved that Council is in receipt of Administration Report TR 2022-03 submitted by Chris Towns, Treasurer, regarding 2021 accounts receivable write-offs.
Thank you. Through the Chair, accounts receivable is essentially lot rentals or any other accounts that are unproperty related. You will see through the account there are 6 accounts that we had to write off. Some have been under the use of the collection agency for a period of time, and the collection agency has actually deemed them uncollectible. Therefore, I've had no choice but to write them off internally. Does Council have any questions?
Okay. Seeing none, and be it further resolved that upon conclusion of Council's review and consideration, Council approves the 2021 accounts receivable write-offs as presented.
Councilor Arola,
Yes.
Councilor Hudson,
Yes.
Councilor Moffat,
Yes.
Councilor Scapanello,
Yes.
Mayor McEachern.
Yes. Moved by Councilor Scapanello, seconded by Councilor Arola. Resolved that Council is in receipt of Administration Report ADM 2022-01 submitted by Jolene Keogh, Clerk, regarding social media policy.
Thank you, through the Chair. The social media policy for your review is another guiding document that outlines the roles, the responsibilities, and to provide rules and guidelines on acceptable and appropriate participation on our social media sites. It's for employees and it's for council and for the residents, for them to have a guide on what we have for social media practices. Does anybody have any questions?
Through the Chair, who is the person that puts up most of the social media information? I'm sure it's different departments, but...
Yeah, currently right now, all social media is approved through the CAO, and right now it's through the admin office as well as through the recreation office.
Okay.
Further questions? And be it further resolved that upon conclusion of Council's review and consideration, Council approves the social media policy, and further the Council directs staff to immediately implement the policy and post it to the Township website for further information.
Councilor Arola,
Yes.
Councilor Hudson,
Yes.
Councilor Moffat,
Yes.
Councilor Scapanello,
Yes.
Mayor McEachern.
Yes. Moved by Councilor Arola, seconded by Councilor Hudson. Resolved that Council is in receipt of Administration Report ADM 2022-02 submitted by Florence, Mclean, CAO regarding acting CAO succession planning program as provided to Council for information purposes.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. As you stated, this is for your information, but I wanted to let you know that I have started up an acting CAO program with participation from senior managers who are able to work with me one-on-one to take training as a group and to participate in acting CAO assignments in my absence. So the intent behind the program is to build succession planning I have 2 years left in my contract, and I would like to be able to see that the person who steps into my place when I'm finished is able and capable, and it would be wonderful if it was an internal candidate. Of course, that is up to the council of the day, but my goal and my hope is that we can build that succession internally. And it's a great learning opportunity for all the managers to be better managers and to be part of decisions at a higher level than what they're already working at.
Any questions?
Through the chair, you said you've started this already, so you've already got senior staff that are participating in it?
Yes.
Okay.
So all the senior staff are participating, and Don Kruger will be asked to participate also when he arrives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Councilor Rolla?
Yes.
Councilor Hudson?
Yes.
Councilor Moffat?
Yes.
Councilor Scapanello?
Yes.
Mayor McEachern?
Yes. Moved by Councilor Hudson, seconded by Councilor Scapanello. Resolved that council is in the receipt of administration report ADM 2022-03 submitted by Florence Mclean regarding restrictions on communication with the township.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. Council will recall that back in October of 2020, 2 complaints were reviewed by 2 residents, and council discussed that in closed session, but in coming into open session, they did pass a resolution to restrict the communications and the flow of that communication through the mayor only. These individuals have been in contact with me for the past 6 months by phone and by email. I have been communicating with them with no difficulty at all. And council in June passed the respectful behavior policy. It outlined what the restrictions could be for residents who are exhibiting disrespectful behavior. But any restrictions that are placed on them would be reviewed at either 3, 6, or 12 months, depending on the severity of their actions. So it's my recommendation at this point that we lift the restrictions that were put in place in October of 2020, and we allow these individuals to have full contact with the township as they have in the past.
Any questions at all about that?
Through the chair, so you feel like it was a successful situation and we can move forward with?
Yes, I feel that they, the restriction that was placed on them was understood, and I believe that they now understand that their behaviors need to be respectful in order to be able to continue to have full access to the township. And again, it's my recommendation that that restriction be lifted.
Okay. And be it further resolved that upon conclusion of council's review and consideration, council approves the restriction imposed on October 28, 2020 be rescinded, and further the council directs the CAO to immediately notify the 2 individuals in writing of council's decision.
Councilor Rolla?
Yes.
Councilor Hudson?
Yes.
Councilor Moffat?
Yes.
Councilor Scapanello?
Yes.
Mayor McEachern?
Yes. Moved by Councilor Hudson, seconded by Councilor Roll. Resolved that council is in receipt of administration report ADM 2022-04 submitted by Florence Mclean, CAO, regarding personnel policies.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. I would like to thank council for their patience in putting these policies together, and do want to say that by February we will be through all of these, and we will have a complete binder. So there's just a few more meetings where we're adding the final policies. But these 3 are regarding overtime, leave of absence, and the customer information policy. And With regard to overtime, basically it is reaffirming for staff that overtime must be approved by the manager. Staff can't just incur overtime without a good reason and with approval. So just putting that in writing. The leave of absence policy, I know that you have reviewed a few of them, but they were more specific to parental leave or sick leave. This is a general leave of absence without pay, and the guidelines around how staff can request that and for what purposes and how often. And the final policy is the customer information policy, and really it is a guideline for staff to ensure that our residents' information is kept confidential. And with regard to the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act, we do have to follow that to the T. And so an agreement is requested that staff review it and sign it, and we can do that during orientation for new staff, but we'll also do it for existing staff as well.
Any questions? Okay. And be it further resolved that upon conclusion of Council's review and consideration, Council approves Personnel Policy 2021-06, the overtime policy, and further the Council approves Personnel Policy 2021-25, the leave of absence policy, and further that Council approves the Personnel Policy number 2021-52, the Customer Information Confidentiality policy.
Councilor Arola?
Yes.
Councilor Hudson?
Yes.
Councilor Moffat?
Yes.
Councilor Scapanello?
Yes.
Mayor McEachern?
Yes. The next item is number 10, which is correspondence brought down.
Oh, sorry, through the chair. Number 10 is the additional admin report for the procurement of rapid antigen tests
Okay.
submitted by Florence.
Moved by Councilor Scapanello, seconded by Councilor Hudson. Resolved that Council is in receipt of administration report ADM 2022-05 submitted by Florence Mclean, CAO, regarding procurement of rapid antigen test kits.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. Over the past several weeks, with the changes to the province's approach to COVID and reducing the number of COVID tests done at the hospital for symptomatic residents, we've seen a big gap in the number of cases reported. And it's a problem in terms of the businesses, the employees, and our economy. As you know, Manitouwadge is very limited in the number of businesses that we have. We have one grocery store, one gas station, and if any of these businesses are closed down, it can have detrimental effects on the residents. And I'm proposing that we utilize our provincial COVID relief funding to procure a number of rapid antigen tests that the residents can utilize if they feel that they would like to be tested. There are no test kits available at the pharmacy for purchase. Residents are being told that they can't go to the hospital to have a test done, and if they are feeling unwell, just to stay home and isolate. And that is the difficult part in terms of staff being able to go to work and our businesses being able to stay open. So by providing these test kits to the residents, it could allow the staff and the employees to be able to return to work confident that they don't have COVID and that they can go to work for the day. I've had several discussions with a number of our businesses, and also I was able to speak with Debbie Hardy today at the hospital. She's in full support of this strategy. They have been doing some tests where they can for employees who wouldn't normally have access to a test kit, in order to ensure that they are confident going back to work. So this may be what will help reopen the bank or give the staff who drive for Gord's Taxi the confidence to go back to work. And it will also hopefully keep our essential stores open, such as the grocery stores and the gas station. So with Council's review of this report, the funding that we did receive from the province that was unutilized last year did go into a reserve account. So this request is to move that funding into the operating fund for this year and to purchase the antigen test kits. They do range in price from Barrick is paying between $10 and $25 per test, but we do have a source who can sell them to us for $8 a test. And so in order to get 10,000 tests, which would be 5 per person, we would have to spend about $80,000. There is a provincial program where businesses can access free tests, but the supply is very low. The delivery time is unpredictable. The township has applied and has been approved 1,000 tests per month for staff, the fire department, and council. But unfortunately, we can't give those out to the public. So this strategy and this request is that these tests be available to the public.
Okay, any questions? Funding is available.
So distribution will be determined at a later time with businesses, or how is that going?
Well, when Council approved the COVID relief funding a year and a half ago, we did struggle with, how is this going to be implemented? How will residents pick up their $100 per person? And we did do it seamlessly, and it was very effective. And although we haven't jumped into the details yet about how the test kits would be delivered to our residents, there are a number of ways that we can do that, either through Canada Post, door-to-door delivery. We could have them come into the office as long as they are not sick, or we could have friends and neighbors pick up and drop off. So there's a number of ways that we can do it. We just need to, when we know we're getting them and we know when they're going to arrive, then we can have that discussion about what that's going to look like in terms of delivery.
Okay. And be it further resolved that upon conclusion of Council's review and consideration, Council approves the purchase of 10,000 rapid antigen test kits to be provided to local residents for their use, and further that Council approves the use of funds available in the reserve account that holds the provincial COVID-19 relief funding.
Councilor Arola?
Yes.
Councilor Hudson?
Yes.
Councilor Moffat?
Yes.
Councilor Scapanello?
Yes.
Mayor McEachern?
Yes. Is this where we got in that you brought down?
So I have, this is the resolution, but because it's so small, we can just read off the application.
Moved by Councilor Hudson, seconded by Councilor Scapanello. Whereas the Year of Garden 2022 celebrates the centennial of Canada's horticultural sector, whereas gardens and gardening contribute to the quality of life in our municipality and create safe and healthy places where people can come together, whereas the Year of the Garden 2022 will highlight and celebrate the important contribution of gardens, our local gardening organizations, horticultural professionals, and local horticultural businesses which contribute to garden culture and the experience gardens of our municipality. Whereas gardens and gardening helps us face the challenges of the COVID pandemic, whereas Communities in Bloom, in collaboration with the Canadian Garden Council, invites all municipalities to celebrate the Year of the Garden. Now therefore be resolved that the Township of Manitowoc hereby proclaims 2022 as the Year of the Garden, in celebration of the contribution of gardens and gardening to the development of our country, our municipality, and the lives of our citizens in terms of health, quality of life, and environmental challenges. And that the Saturday before Father's Day, June 18th, 2022, be recognized as Garden Day in the municipality of Manitowoc as legacy of the Canada's Year of the Garden 2022, and the Township of Manitowoc is committed to be a garden-friendly town, supporting the development of the garden culture, and is proud to have many residents that contribute to our garden community in the Township of Manitowoc, with a thriving community garden that is available to residents through the efforts of the many volunteers, and that all municipalities across Canada be invited to proclaim 2022 to be the Year of the Garden in their respective communities, and that a copy of this resolution be provided to the FCM and for that purpose. Dated at Town Hall, the 12th day of January 2022, John McEachran, Mayor.
So through the chair, I know in the past we have a huge garden community here, and people's gardens are just amazing in this community. And I know in the past we've had contests. I can't remember if we did last year or not. Probably because of COVID we may not have. But I'm just, given that it is the Year of Gardening, I'm hoping that we're going to do something again this year and really encourage people to. I know it took a big boom gardening, especially for vegetables, for people throughout COVID to start growing their own things, and it changed the way a lot of people eat, and I think it's a great thing if we could encourage that and possibly do the contest again like we have in the past.
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair, we did have a garden contest last year, and we will do that again in 2022.
Okay. Moved by Councilor Rolla, seconded by Councilor Hudson. Being a bylaw to authorize a temporary borrowing of $1 million be read a first and second time. Is there do we need an explanation for that, or is that so?
No, through you, Mr. Chair. Just maybe like to inform Mayor and Council that this is an annual requirement which provides the municipality authority to utilize its available funds prior to the passing of the annual budget.
Yep.
And furthermore be read a third time and passed as bylaw number 2022-01.
Councilor Rolla?
Yes.
Councilor Hudson?
Yes.
Councilor Moffat?
Yes.
Councilor Scapanello?
Yes.
Mayor McEachran?
Yes. Moved by Councilor Hudson, seconded by Councilor Rolla. Being a bylaw to provide for an interim tax levy for the year 2022 be read a first and second time. Again.
Yeah, thank you. Through the chair, this is another annual requirement which provides the municipality the authority to levy a 50% tax of previous year's final billings, provide operating funds until the annual budget is passed and final billings are calculated and billed.
Councilor Rolla?
Yes.
Councilor Hudson?
Yes.
Oh,
Sorry.
second part, sorry.
And further be read a third time, passed and numbered as bylaw number 2022-02.
Councilor Rolla?
Yes.
Councilor Hudson?
Yes.
Councilor Moffat?
Yes.
Councilor Scapanello?
Yes.
Mayor McEachran?
Yes. Moved by Councilor Scapanello, seconded by Councilor Hudson, being a bylaw to establish 2022 services and charges be read a first and second time. That's all the service.
Thank you. Thank you again. Through the chair, this is another annual requirement which administration is required to review all user fees and service charges for the corporation. This year, administration is happy to provide that there are very little changes, very minor ones, specifically related to memberships and facility rentals, where we reclassified the juniors and students. Landfill tipping fees have increased to meet the consumer price index, along with equipment rentals through Public Works. And all labor rates have increased as per the approved collective agreement, which we were backdated a number of years, 3 years, because due to the COVID and the inability to meet to pass the new collective agreement. Under water, we did the water and sewer rates and the quarterly flat rate the proposed increase meets the consumer price index. And administration, along with bylaw, has requested a new tampering with municipal infrastructure fee to deter residents from turning on and off their water supplies without municipal authorization. Hours of operation under Public Works call-out times for after-hours emergencies has been reflective of the current municipal office operating hours. And the cemetery perpetual care rates have increased due to Ontario Regulation 30-11. And as in a late addition, the revision was that a fee for civil marriage services has been applied as per the approved bylaw.
Questions?
Yes, through the chair. I have a number of questions. The first one is just a simple information question. The greens fees, the one where it says 6 rounds of 9 holes, I'm not clear on what that is because I don't golf. So could I get an explanation on that?
You played 9 times. That's 6 rounds. What you
6 rounds of 9 holes. So it's that 6 rounds. It's 9 holes. You play 9 holes. You play 18 holes.
Yeah.
So you can play either. You're only going to get 3 rounds of 18.
Okay. I know nothing about golf. Okay, so on the rentals, I noticed it changed in a number of things where it's just reclassified where it goes from saying events 3 hours per day, but the reclassification is community per hour and business corporate per hour. Can I get a clarification on what that is and why it was reclassified?
Yes, so in the classification of less than 3 hours and more than 3 hours, that was implemented back in a time when it was a hot commodity to utilize our facilities and there were multiple bookings at one time. So we had discussed with the recreation department putting it to a hourly rate so that there was no, it's a set amount for 3 hours or 2 hours, so there was a set amount per hour. If they wanted it for 5 hours, they're not paying for 6. That was the thought process behind that.
So that just applies to all rentals as I can see throughout the whole fee structure?
Correct.
Okay. The landfill site passes. My question on that is if you've already purchased one, like say you bought one for 2 pickup loads but you've only used one and you still have the other one sitting in your truck, does it still apply? Like it's not going to affect any kind of change or anything?
Correct. We have always honored items already purchased.
Okay. All right, and here's the big one. So this is regarding the repair and replace water service line. So it says from the main shutoff to entry of residential property. So it says estimated on labor, materials, and equipment. So from 1 year to the next, it went up $53, but then it went up $400 at an 8.24%. I realize you just said that there was a collective agreement signed, but that seems like a huge jump from 1 year to the next.
Yeah, the collective agreement that it just passed, the 2020 was at 3%, 2021 was 3%, and 2022 was 2% for increases in salaries. And then Public Works had also implemented a customer price index to the cost of the equipment. I heard that.
Okay, thank you for that explanation, Chris. And the other one is the fixed quarterly and the water and sewer rates. I have an issue with them going up as much as they're supposed, as much as they are, as regularly as they are. I know you said it's due to the consumer index, but I have a bit of a problem with it.
Yeah, with those rates, we have hired Aqua to maintain our water distribution system and treat our sewage facility, sewer facility, sorry. Sorry, I got a cat playing with their balls. The aqua contract is, sorry, the aqua contract has increased the management fees for the facilities, and without taking into consideration some of the economic down issues that we're having right now, we decided, myself and Public Works decided to increase just based on customer index as opposed to matching the aqua contract.
So if you were to match it to the aqua contract, would it be a larger increase?
Yes.
Okay.
We're in discussions. It looked like we were hoping that with the cost of the equipment would help the increase in the customer price index of the utilization of the equipment for water breaks repairs, that it would compensate the difference.
Any further questions? Okay, seeing none. And further be read a third time passed and numbered as bylaw number 2022-03. Did you have more?
Yes.
I asked you if you had more.
I was scrolling to find it.
Okay. Go ahead.
So under the municipal law enforcement, just the kennel license and the pound fees per day. What exactly is a kennel license? I know what a pound fee is, but it jumped a lot, that one. It went up by 50%, and that's quite a bit.
The increased fees on that, unfortunately, our bylaw officer, Marcel, is not with us tonight, but the increased fees were based, again, mostly on a labor cost to maintain.
Okay. What exactly is a kennel license? Is that for the township to have the building out there to put them in?
We do at the Public Works Yard.
Okay. Okay, I'm good.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And furthermore, be read a third time passed and numbered as bylaw number 2022-03.
Councilor Rolla.
Yes.
Councilor Hudson.
Yes.
Councilor Moffat.
Yes.
Councilor Scapanello.
Yes.
Mayor McEachern.
Yes.
Thank you.
Moved by Councilor Hudson, seconded by Councilor Rolla, being a bylaw to revoke the appointment of the Deputy Fire Chief and to repeal bylaw number 2017-03 be read a first and second time.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. Due to the resignation of Mr. Narbonne, the letter that was received on December the 17th, he had requested that his appointment as Deputy Fire Chief be revoked, and so this is administrative paperwork to do that. I did check with Fire Chief Earl Grigg regarding the replacement for a Deputy Fire Chief, and we've both agreed that this should be something that Fire Chief Don Kruger oversees when he arrives, and typically is done through a competition with a posting, and members can make application to the position.
Okay? And furthermore, be read a third time passed and numbered as bylaw number 2022-04.
Councilor Rolla.
Yes.
Councilor Hudson.
Yes.
Councilor Moffat.
Yes.
Councilor Scapanello.
Yes.
Mayor McEachern.
Yes. Moved by Councilor Scapanello, seconded by Councilor Hudson, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Township of Manitowoc at its meeting held on Wednesday, January 12th, 22, be read a first and second time. And further be read a third time and passed as bylaw number 2022-25.
0. Councilor Rolla.
Yes.
Councilor Hudson.
Yes.
Councilor Moffat.
Yes.
Councilor Scapanello.
Yes.
Mayor McEachern.
Yes. Moved by Councilor Rolla, seconded by Councilor Scapanello. Resolved that the regular meeting adjourn at the hour of 7:49.
Councilor Rolla.
Yes.
Councilor Hudson,
Yes.
Councilor Moffat,
Yes.
Councilor Scapanello,
Yes.
Mayor McEachran.
Yes.